Hello, and thank you for coming to this video. We hope you'll find it helpful and interesting. Prior to the pandemic, Rural Mission Solutions used to produce periodic webinars sharing all sorts of ideas. And we've realized, of course, that during the pandemic and the lockdown, that hasn't been relevant. So here are a few of the ideas that cover the period from Lent all the way through past Easter, and just thinking a little bit further ahead. We hope you'll find it helpful. Remember, we don't expect you to do everything. These are just some suggestions. You can adopt or adapt them just as you like. Now, I'm not on my own here today, so let me introduce my colleagues. I'm going to introduce, first of all, Gordon Bank.
Good morning and God's blessing to you. Lovely to be with you this morning.
And also we've got David Wells.
Good morning.
Together we're going to try to share some thoughts and ideas quite quickly and succinctly, but there will be links that you'll have available, and there'll be information on our website, which will give you the address later. So just know that you can pick up further information. So if we don't say enough, follow up afterwards. Now let's start talking about the fact that many churches are thinking that they'll get back to worship in their buildings. And there are all sorts of issues about this, but just 2 points to particularly mention. One is, are you going to do some spring cleaning? And would that be an opportunity to get some men involved? And maybe people who don't normally come to church, who would be sympathetic with the fact that you've got to reopen your church and you've got cobwebs and things to get rid of. So here's your opportunity to engage more widely with your village community and get some men involved. Plan a clean-up day and organize refreshments as part of the day. Make a special occasion of it. And another thing is signage. Now, church signage is poor during the pandemic. It often looks as if the churches are closed down and probably not likely to open again. So just, Gordon, let me come to you, because I know that you've had a real concern about getting some temporary signage outside churches.
And that's quite easy to do, Barry, as you can see from this picture of my home church here, which is using a simple vinyl banner. And we know rural churches are sometimes, that's a bit difficult, but see if there is somewhere, because sometimes what happens is, this is about our social media presence. And that's so important. And what you may do, and don't go down the line of just saying, oh, we don't do Facebook and social media. But if you don't, then you're not going to engage, because sadly that's where folks are at. So you need to engage. It's not about you. It's about public facing, clear and distinct, so people can see it. And particularly if you're on a footpath, so people can walk by. You could even maybe find that you'll find friends for your church, and who knows, you could even build up an international friendship. It's all doable.
So maybe think about advertising generally. How do we announce our presence within the community? And don't take it for granted. Everybody knows who we are and they're welcome to come. Okay, know that you do have to encourage people. We've also got a few thoughts we'd like to share with you about when you do get a chance to reopen. So I'm going to go across to Gordon to share his thoughts on this.
Yes, haven't we heard that? Can we get back to normal? What is normal? We've got a new normal. And this is a real opportunity we've got at the moment to review everything we've done, every group, every meeting, every way we worship, the whole lot. Review it, rethink it. Do we really want to restart it? Can we refresh it? Can we renew it? Can we do something else as well? It really is a kairos moment. We wouldn't have asked for this, but we've got it, I think, as a gift, as a kairos moment, a special moment to review everything and move forward. So make the best opportunity of it.
And of course, linked with that, we've got the issue of whether people wish to sustain, if they've been online, do they want to sustain an online presence, how they work the two together. And there's plenty of people that can give advice. Right, that's about reopening churches. What about schools have been coming back? So let's say something about schools then.
As the schools open up more fully, can you support them and just say, we're here for them? And without breaking confidences, are there issues we could pray about? Are there people we could pray about as well? And what about baking a nice cake to take into the staff room and just saying, we just as a real blessing and gift to you as well. But then there are lots of other things we can do in school as well. Lots of lovely initiatives. Open the Book is a great initiative that many of you will be aware of, but that's a lovely way of taking in. And you can bring up a team from your church to go in and tell the Bible stories. There's prayer space. And again, that's important. My home church, again, is doing one on Holy Week, telling the story of Jesus through to the cross and the resurrection as well. So that's all important. Are there other issues as well with the schools?
I've heard about an initiative called Experience Easter, which is set up by the Gloucester Diocese. And what they've done in other years is that they've had people going in to schools and acting out sort of a various character in the story of Holy Week and Easter, and also then giving them little activities to do. Now, this year, I think there's a question mark about whether they let people in. So one parish up north, Penny Horseman, who's of the Church Army, has produced a series of videos and actually just sent it in to school the week before so that they can use it in their classroom. So that's one thing we could do, produce something and then just give it to them, because often I think, particularly that last week of Easter, they're looking for things just appropriate for children.
Okay, what else have you got?
And also, now we're coming up to Easter, I've noticed that though people have been able to get into our church, a lot of people have been walking through our churchyard, and we have some lovely trees in our churchyard. We're going to put up a series of posters, make a prayer trail, and on each of the prayer trails, each of the posters, we're going to put a prayer and a passage of scripture and a picture. And one thing, just to get people more involved in the church, the pictures are going to be drawn by members of the congregation. I've asked for people to draw pictures of Good Friday story and the Easter story to put up on these. And that's a way of proclaiming the message of Easter and saying it's really special for us. You may not have a drive or a space like that, but there's other places you can put them, isn't there, Gordon?
Yeah, there's a picture here that I really came across when I was out running, and this is a church not dissimilar to one you say. Got a lot of footfall by the canal, or leading down to the canal, Hill Morton Locks. And you can see that they've really taken the opportunity here. They've put their prayers on the benches, on walls. They've even created a thing called Live Lent, made like a cross, and there's a thing there about the Muddy Church. And another initiative as well. And the church was open for private prayers, I noticed as well. So footfall going by, and just engaging people and inviting them to stop for a moment and say a prayer. They were particularly focusing on COVID and the effects of COVID on people.
I think we need to remember that a lot of the ministry of Jesus was undertaken outside. It wasn't just inside buildings,
Yeah,
so use the outside space that we've got.
Another resource that's being produced by Scripture Union that uses this whole concept, and it doesn't have to be on church land. I think it's very appropriate for a small village, is that they produced a series of posters which are aimed at primary school children, which tell the story. And on each of the posters there's a URL which they can use their phones, and they can scan it in and they can get a video of someone talking about the Easter story. It could be Mary, it could be Nicodemus, it could be Peter. And then it's like a treasure trail, because you pick up a letter, and then when they type the whole word out, work it out, there's a final video that talks about the meaning of Easter.
That all sounds very exciting, really. Gordon, you've put forward an idea about Easter fire. Explain that.
Yeah, that's right, Barry. We're all still holding on a bit about whether we can, when we can actually come back to worship, and whether we can sing or can't sing, or what do we have to do, and we're all kind of waiting for the latest legislation and roadmap. But it could well be possible, I think, even within the realms of what we've done now, to have an act of worship outside. And one of the great ways of doing this that's been done for lots of years is to light the new Easter fire. that would traditionally be where, if you had a Paschal candle, that's the big special Easter candle, that's where that would be lit from. You could still do that because, you know, one person could light that and take it into the church as a symbolic light as well. But it should be doable to have light the new fire and be distanced and spaced, and you know, to celebrate the coming of Christ. My email address is there through Rural Missions. I can send you outlines of services, but there's stuff online as well about it. So yeah, great idea.
So we'll put those email addresses, David's and yours and mine, at the end, so that people have got those, and also the website where you'll be able to pick up information as well. Just thinking about Easter fire, another thing churches sometimes do is have an Easter Sunday morning sunrise service with a breakfast after it. So that's another idea. Just see whether David's got any more ideas that he wants to bring in. Anything else, David, on your list?
I just think that now we're getting into the warmer weather, then time to do things outside. Let's get the church out.
Okay.
May not be able to get people in because of social distances, but we can go out.
That's so important. Thank you for that. Just one other idea then, linked in some ways to things that you and Gordon have said about presenting things outside. Village Church in Northamptonshire, a place called Yelvertoft, has produced a wonderful Easter tableau with a grave with a stone that rolls away, and a donkey and other things. And this is a do-it-yourself thing. So they got some material, did an outline drawing, then someone cut it out, and another person painted it. So lots of things that you could do. Okay, get creative. And of course, it won't be that long before we're into summer, able to do more things, and there'll be more ideas in another video that we'll bring out on another occasion. So hopefully you found a few ideas here that you can adopt or adapt for your church. Hopefully, no matter how small you are, no matter how small your village is, you'll find something here that you can use. So from me, Barry Osborne, goodbye.
And from me, Gordon Banks, goodbye.
And from me, David Wells, God bless.